There are worlds out there where the sky's burning, where the sea's asleep and the rivers dream. People made of smoke and cities made of song. Some of there's danger, some of there's injustice, and somewhere else the tea's getting cold. Come on, Ace, we've got work to do.
And work they did. In 1989, Doctor Who fans had a lot to contend with. Unfortunately, not only was their favourite show getting cancelled, but so was their deal that has lasted for over 30 years with Target. For the first time since 1973, Doctor Who fans were unable to expect new episode novelisations from their trusted publisher. This was the year that Target Novels relinquished the licence to Doctor Who, and it was given to Virgin Publishing in 1990. Luckily, Doctor Who fans were able to get novelisations of every last Doctor Who story, including the final story, Survival. Fortunately for Virgin Publishing, by 1991, they were starting to run out of stories to novelise, so they tested the waters and started experimenting with creating original stories for novelisations. Now, the first story is called The Time Worm Genesis, released in 1991 and written by John Peel, who would become a very key figure in the novelisations later on. The next three stories were sequels to this and were Time Wirren, Exodus, Apocalypse, and Revelation. Wait a minute.
Good Lord, what is happening in there?
Now, I want to preface this by saying that there is nothing wrong with nudity at all, but when I first saw this, I nearly fell out of my chair. Now, the reason for that is because with Doctor Who, you come to expect a certain level of family friendliness, or what the BBC deems to be family friendly. But this sort of cover, this sort of story was very rife in the Virgin New Adventures. Now, I personally think they did this to grab a certain demographic. I think they wanted to move away from the family friendliness of Doctor Who, and with these books, they definitely succeeded in that. The New Adventures are notable for many reasons in terms of story as well, providing a much-needed exit for Ace in the story Love and War. Though she did return in the story to Seat, though this is a very different Ace to the one that we remember, with her official exit coming in Set Piece. She would make sporadic appearances in guest roles and other stories, but this would be her last regular appearance. The stories would also introduce Bernice Summerfield, who would become a mainstay of the Big Finish audio dramas in later years. Now, this series, for better or worse, proved incredibly popular, and got a few people's feet in the door, as a lot of Doctor Who fans who grew up with the show were able to write for the series for the first time ever, including people who would actually go on to write for the revived series. So with it going so good, why did it stop? Well, the answer there is the almighty dollar and BBC. As in mid-1997, BBC took the licence back off of them. In the time they had left to close up on the licence, they managed to make two of the most infamous books of their range. Long Barrow, being the Seventh Doctor's final story, is an incompleted script that ended up becoming Ghostlight. It also reveals a lot about the Doctor's past in a way that was believed to be canon for many years. It is also an unofficial prequel to the Doctor Who TV movie. Now, The Dying Days is known for being the only time they got to write for the Eighth Doctor and is considered a very rare book these days. So there we have it. This was my little rundown of the Virgin Publishing era. I'm sorry I couldn't go into detail on any of the books. I don't own any of the Virgin range as they're very expensive, but I do know they did a lot of good for the fandom, and some of the concepts introduced are still considered canon by fans to this very day. Something I forgot to mention is writer John Peel got his start in the New Adventures range as he went on to write all the Dalek stories for the BBC Books range. It should be noted that he also wrote the Target novels for most Dalek stories as well. Now that's it for this video, guys. I think I covered everything I could here. There's definitely more to know about these. If I end up learning a lot more, I will do a part 2. But for now, this is a little inside out of the Virgin Publishing era. Thank you, guys. Hopefully I'll see you very soon with another bit of Doctor Who lore.